Hello everyone, and welcome to day 12 of the 12 days of Christmas. I can't believe we're at day 12 already. It's come very fast, and I hope that you've enjoyed this series this year. I hope you've enjoyed the array of videos that I put together for you. But today I'm going to be sharing with you 25 things I'm grateful for. I thought, why not? Here we are, it's almost Christmas. You've been with me every other day for nearly 25 days, and I thought it was just an appropriate number for December and for this video series. Now, back in June, I started writing down every night things I'm grateful for in that day. And these could range from very small things to very large, significant things. So I went back through where I wrote those down to kind of see if there was a pattern or ones that had been repeated, and those are some of the ones that I'm going to share with you today. Now, they aren't written down necessarily in order of importance or even in the amount of times that I wrote them down, but these are simply 25 things I'm grateful for, not necessarily weighted in that order, but I am going to start at 25 and work in reverse. So starting at number 25, something I'm grateful for is something that I don't really talk about a lot because it's not something that is really something I talk to a lot of people about or I'm very open about, which I probably should be more so because I know it's something that's still seen as kind of taboo in our society, and I don't think that it should be. So that is why I am sharing it with you now, and that is therapy. I have gone to a therapist on and off throughout my life, starting at the age of 16, but not consistently. So I may have started going at 16, but then stopped at 18, then started again at 20, then gone till I was maybe 24. These are just estimates, not exact, but on and off throughout my life, I've gone to a therapist, not the same person, different people, to kind of work through some stresses that I might be going through or dealing with anxiety and how to keep that under control, or just kind of getting through a more difficult time throughout my life. And I found that when I have gone, it has definitely helped me. It's helpful to speak to someone who is outside of your everyday life because they can have a different perspective on things. You go in without them having any bias toward anything involved in your life, and I have just found it to be helpful throughout my life, and I think that it can be helpful and beneficial to anyone. So if you have never sought out therapy and maybe been struggling with something or don't really know who to talk to or turn to, that is something that I would recommend to you. It's nothing to be ashamed of or embarrassed of or feel weird about, because it's something I think everybody should at least try, because I do think it can be helpful and beneficial to people. So I am grateful that I have had those times in my life where that has been there for me and that has helped me. Number 24, something that I'm grateful for is my kind and caring nature. And I don't sound that to be conceited or sound like I'm boasting or anything like that. But as I go further into my adulthood, I learn how that's maybe not necessarily the norm. Not to say that there aren't other kind, caring people out there, because there certainly are, and there are people who are much more so than I am. But it's something I've had in my nature throughout my life, and something that I'm happy and thankful to have as just being naturally part of my nature, and something that I don't take for granted. Number 23 is something that I am most certainly grateful for, and that is good health and the fact that I can walk. I'm able to move my body in a way that I can exercise. I can see just fine. I can hear just fine. And those are things that we might not always stop and think about, But if we have those abilities, we are already lucky and fortunate because not everybody has those abilities. And I think it's something good to stop and think about and be thankful and grateful for every now and then. Number 22 would be my work ethic. And I, again, didn't realize, I've been told by my mom or other people in my life what a good work ethic I have, but sometimes coming from them you think it might be biased, or it doesn't really sink in, or you don't appreciate it. But throughout my adult life, and especially my working life, I have noticed just how good my work ethic is, and that sometimes not everybody else has that same work ethic, and I think it's helped me to do well in life and in my job. But I have learned that everybody is not that way and does not necessarily have the same work ethic as me, and while it's something that I've tried to navigate and figure out, I'm still grateful that I have that work ethic and I'm a hardworking person, and yeah, it's helped me and I'm just appreciative to have it. 21 is volunteering. I've found volunteering to be a really good thing for me. It kind of gets me outside of myself and my everyday life and maybe any struggles that I'm going through, to help other people who are certainly less fortunate than I am. And so yeah, it just puts things in perspective. You can't help but feel good when you're helping others. So volunteering is definitely something that I'm grateful for. Plus it gets you involved in your community and helps you to meet other people. Number 20 for things I'm grateful for is a clean, organized space or home. And when I say this, that's not to say that my home is always clean or organized, because that's definitely not the case. And same goes with my workspace, but when those areas are clean and organized, I notice what a difference it makes in how I feel, how my productivity is. So when those things happen, when I have a clean, organized desk, or when I have a clean, organized home, I'm grateful for that because I see what a difference it makes. And number 19, something I'm grateful for, is my car and the fact that it gets me from point A to point B, gets me around where I need to be, and gets me there safely and comfortably. Number 18 of things I'm grateful for is quality time with Scott. It can be difficult in our day and age because of technology, just being busy, getting caught up in the day-to-day schedules, to stop and have that quality and one-on-one time with people. And when I do have that, especially with him, I am very grateful and thankful for that. Number 17 is my YouTube hobby, and I don't say that just because I'm making this video, but it is something that I had written down more than once, and I am grateful for it because it keeps me busy, gives me something to do. I enjoy the interaction that I get with the people who watch me. It allows me to be creative and try different things, while also getting to try out fun and different outfits, makeup looks, things like that that I wouldn't normally on a day-to-day basis. But overall, I'm just grateful because it's a fun hobby that gives me something to do and entertain me in my spare time. And number 16 is that I am grateful for air conditioning and fans to keep me cool. So this past summer was the first summer that we ever had air conditioner in our house, and it does add a cost factor, but I guess it's kind of that situation of you don't really know what you're missing until you have it, and then you wonder how you ever lived without it. So we went a few summers in our house with being very hot and humid and uncomfortable, and we would just kind of deal with it and get through it. But this last summer was much more comfortable. We weren't sweating all the time. We would come home to a house that wasn't humid. Our cat was happy, so that was definitely something that I was very grateful for. And fans as well, because they keep the air circulating, keep us cool. But going along with that, not just for the summer, but I'm also grateful for heat and having a warm, comfortable home to come to in the winter months. Number 15 is working plumbing, because again, this isn't something that you might think about on a day-to-day basis, but having a flushing toilet and a working shower and all of those things is definitely something that we can take for granted on a day-to-day basis, but is something that I'm very grateful for because it is something that we utilize every day and does make our lives much easier. Number 14, I kind of lumped a bunch of things into one because throughout the days that I was writing things that I was grateful for, I wrote on one day maybe washer dryer, another day iron, so I've just kind of lumped appliances that make our lives more convenient. So that would be a washer dryer, dishwasher for sure, oven, iron, vacuum, all of these things that we use in our day-to-day lives but that make life much easier and make less work for us to do. 13 is clothing, mostly clothing that keeps me comfortable and warm, so sweaters to keep me warm, comfy sweatshirts to keep me warm, comfortable clothes to lounge around in on the weekend, basically just clothes on my back to keep me comfortable and warm. Along those lines, number 12 is blankets to keep me warm, because I am someone that is often cold, or at least cool, very rarely ever hot, and having a little blanket to snuggle up in and curl up in on the couch, or blankets on our bed that keep my body warm and keep me cozy, I'm very grateful for. Number 11, I put down books, because I think I've read more this year. Well, you'll know when you've watched my books I read this year video, but I think I've read more this year than I probably have any other year, and the more I read, the more I just want to read, because I find books more than any other medium to be a really good escape for me. It kind of takes me out of my head, takes me out of the everyday real world stuff, and just really lets me escape into that world of the book and the characters, and I can kind of picture the characters in my own way with my own imagination as well as the setting. So I'm really grateful for books and reading. Number 10 is another form of entertainment, and that is TV and movies. I did write on a number of occasions that I was grateful for a movie I saw that day because it made me laugh or it just entertained me, and the same went for TV shows because, again, there's something that can kind of take you away and keep you entertained and just bring you some amusement, so I'm grateful for those as well. Number 9 is showers and baths, because showers keep us clean. Hot showers I enjoy when it's cold. Baths I really enjoy when it's cold because they're relaxing. There's nothing like a hot, luxurious bath to tend to sore muscles when your muscles are sore after a workout or something like that. There's also nothing like a hot bath when you've had that chill in your bones from a cold day and you just can't seem to shake it and you need to warm up. So those are two things that I am grateful for and do not take for granted. Kind of along those lines, number 8 is clean water, mainly to drink, because that's another thing I think we do every day that we can take for granted, is just the fact that we have fresh, clean running water coming out of our taps. And just the fact that we have clean running water accessible to us at all times, I think is something that we should all be grateful for and not take for granted, but definitely something I've been conscious about, the fact that I can just go and get a nice, cold, clean glass of water. I have clean water to take that shower or bath in, so those are things that not everybody has and that I think we, as I said, can take for granted, so I try to be conscious of that and be grateful for it. Number 7 is good food, and I've broken this into good food because I had written things like ice cream and lobster and just delicious meals that I enjoyed. And I think all-encompassing, that can be good food. So good food that tastes good to you, food that's good for you, food that you enjoy. Just the fact that you have food to eat is something to be grateful for. Number 6 is friendship. I do not have a lot of friends. I can pretty much count on one hand the good friends that I have, but I am so thankful for those friendships. I don't get to see my friends as often as I would like, partly my fault for not being more persistent about connecting with them or making plans with them. But the times that I am with friends, I find myself to feel so happy, and just, I think that's something that everybody needs in their life, and it's healthy and important to have friendships. And while it hasn't always been the easiest thing for me, and I don't always have a super easy time making friends, especially new friends as an adult, I am so grateful and thankful for those friendships that I do have, and I will just have to work harder in 2020 on making more time to spend with them. Number 5 that I'm grateful for is exercise. And like I said before, being able to see, hear, move, I'm also grateful that I'm able to exercise. While I may not always enjoy it, I have really seen and learned the benefits of it, not just for physical health and longevity of health, but your mental health as well. And while I wouldn't call myself someone that's big into fitness or exercises all the time, but when it comes to things like yoga or my certain classes that I do at the gym, I see what a difference they make in how I feel, but mostly for my mental health. Yoga's a big one for that, but I'm just grateful that I have exercise to help me in those tough times, to keep my body healthy and moving, and that I'm able to do it. Number 4, I am grateful for a good night's sleep and quality sleep. And as someone with a sleep disorder, this is especially important for me, even though with my particular sleep disorder, it doesn't matter how much sleep you get or how much quality sleep, you still are going to feel tired. But I do notice that when I regulate my sleep in trying to get the same number of hours every night, not going one night extra long or one night really short, I still really could work on weeknights and nights that I'm working and getting more sleep, getting to bed earlier so that I'm getting more than, say, 6 hours of sleep, because I definitely find it to be better when I get 7 or 8 hours as far as energy. But as someone who feels tired pretty much all of the time, I am very thankful and grateful for sleep. Number 3 of things that I was grateful for is summer. It is my favorite season, but it is something that I wrote down quite often, that I was grateful for summer, but especially warm, sunny days. I wrote that multiple times. I'm grateful for this warm, sunny day. I'm grateful for the warm sunshine on my face. So that is something that I'm trying to remember in these cold, chilly, sometimes gray winter months, and hopefully keep that feeling until next summer comes around. But when those days are happening, they are certainly something that I try not to take for granted and try to be thankful for as they are happening. And just a reminder, these are not in order of importance, they're just the order that I put them in. But number 2 of things that I'm grateful for is family. This is one that I wrote down a lot. I'm grateful for the amazing and wonderful and loving family that I have, and the fact that they are there for me and support me, because I know that not everybody has that, and I know that I am so lucky to have that, and I don't know why this is making me emotional, but it is. But I don't take for granted 1 second how lucky and fortunate I am to have the amazing and loving family that I do. My brothers, my parents, my aunt, my husband, all of them. They are there for me. They care for me. Not trying to rhyme, it just happened. But they support me, and while I don't live close to any of them, minus Scott, and I don't get to see them all the time, it just makes me appreciate the time that I am with them that much more, and I often feel happy and have a fun time when I'm with them. But even though I'm not close to them is in terms of distance, I know that they are just a phone call away, an email away, a text, and that if I ever need anything from them, they are there for me and I can count on them and they support me, and I'm so grateful for that. Ending on a very happy note, the number one on this list, again, not in order of importance, but it is one of the top things that I wrote down. As far as things I'm grateful for is, can you guess? I bet you can. My cat, Sir Duncan. And I know people might start thinking I'm a crazy cat lady, and I don't care. Because I never thought, especially being someone that really didn't like cats, I never thought a cat could bring me so much happiness and friendship and companionship and just all of the things. He's adorable. I can't take enough pictures of him because he's always doing something adorable. He makes me smile at least once every day, and how can you not be grateful for that? He's soft and sometimes cuddly when he wants to be, and those are just the best moments because I know that they don't happen all the time, so I definitely cherish those. It's a hard thing to put into words, honestly, but if you have a pet, I'm sure you'll understand. And some people might be this way more with dogs than with cats, and for those people that don't like cats, they won't understand probably, but I will say I was one of you. I did not get it until I got my perfect cat, and he loved me and has continued to love me and show me that love. And just like anything, he can make me crazy at times as well. He's ruined a few nice things of mine, but the amount of joy and happiness he brings me outweighs all of that. So I am very, very grateful for him because of the happiness that he brings me on an everyday basis. And while I could go on and on about him, I won't go on anymore because I'm sure this video could be long because I feel like I've talked for quite a while. But those are the 25 things that I am grateful for. There are many more things that I'm grateful for, but I wanted to keep this list limited. But please let me know down in the comments some of the things that you're grateful for, as many as you'd like to share with me. I would love to hear what other people are grateful for and what things bring you happiness on a daily basis. And maybe that could be a goal for yourself this year, because I found that it's helped me to keep a better outlook on life. So maybe it's something that you could try in the coming year. And even if you don't make it a daily habit of finding each day what you're grateful for, maybe you could just start out weekly and say, what am I grateful for this week? And I find the more that you do it, the easier it becomes. Because when I first started, I said, how am I going to find something to be grateful for every day? Well, it's honestly really easy if you just stop and think about it, because it doesn't have to be grand, huge things. Things that we utilize on an everyday basis are things that we can stop and be grateful for, like running water, like electricity, you know, little things. Well, they're not really little things, but they can seem like little things because we get used to them. But we sometimes just need to stop and reflect and realize that we're fortunate to have these things. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it's given you a little bit more perspective on life and on the way that I try to look at the world. And I really appreciate you watching this series again this year. It takes me many, many hours to make all of these videos for you, between the recording and the editing and all of that, but I do it because I enjoy it, and I hope that you do as well. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon, and I hope that you have a very Merry Christmas and an even better 2020. Bye!